Good morning, students. Program Bachelor of Science, third year, subject Botany, semester 5, paper code BOC 107, paper title Microbiology and Plant Pathology. Title of the unit Introduction to Microbiology, module name Biosafety Levels and Biohazard in the Laboratory, module number 4. Module consists of biosafety, biosafety levels and biohazards. So at the end of this module we will learn about these concepts. Learning outcome explains the term biosafety, explains the 4 levels of biosafety, explains the types of biohazardous waste. Coming to the biosafety, which is also called as biological safety. Now biosafety is a safety precautions which we have to take in order to prevent ourselves from getting in contact with the pathogenic microorganisms which are there. So laboratory biosafety is a term used to describe the containment principle, technologies and practices that are implemented to prevent unintentional exposure to pathogens and toxins or their accidental release in the environment. Biosafety protection is to protect the laboratory workers, clinical specimen and the environment. So we basically take these biosafety measures in order to protect ourselves and also the environment and the specimens. Need for biosafety. Now laboratory has various hazards of processing infectious agents. That's why we need a biosafety. Also to prevent accidental threat to workers and the environment who are working with the infectious agents, and to adhere to safety regulations while dealing with highly infectious agents. Coming to the biosafety levels, now there are 4 types of biosafety levels. It is biosafety level 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now based on the risk factor which is involved, we have all these 4 levels of biosafety. So biosafety level 1 will have a low risk factor, biosafety level 4 will have a high risk factor. Coming to the biosafety level 1, biosafety level 1 containment is suitable for work involving well characterized agents not known to cause diseases in healthy human beings and of minimal potential hazard to laboratory personnel and the environment. Biosafety level 1 laboratory requires no special design features beyond those suitable for a well-designed and functional laboratory. Biological safety cabinets are not required when dealing with these agents. Work may be done in an open bench top. Containment is achieved through the use of practices normally which are followed in a basic microbiology laboratory. Examples of the biosafety level 1 agents are Bacillus subtilis, Naegleria gluberi, Mani E. coli, infectious canine hepatitis virus. Now this image shows the biosafety level 1 and the necessary precautions which we have to take when working with these agents. Next is biosafety level 2. Now the primary exposure hazards associated with organisms requiring biosafety level 2 are through the ingestion, inoculation and mucous membrane route. So from all these routes the microorganism can enter a human body. Now agents are not transmitted by airborne routes. We have to avoid the generation of aerosols. Now aerosols are the liquid or solid substances which are suspended in the air. So we should avoid the formation of aerosols because they are the factors by which we can get ourselves contaminated with the infectious microorganism. Personal protective equipments, that is gloves, laboratory coats, protective eyewear should be used. Environmental contaminant must be minimized by use of hand washing, sinks and decontamination by using autoclaves. Example of BSL 2 agents are Bacillus anthracis, Brucella species, Clostridium tetani, Helicobacter pylori, most Salmonella species, Yersinia pestis, Mycobacterium leprae, Shigella species, human immunodeficiency viruses. Now this image shows a researcher working in a biosafety level 2 wearing necessary precautions such as a lab coat, gloves, etc. Next is biosafety level 3. Now the laboratory personnel have specific training in handling pathogenic and lethal agents at this level. They are well trained by the various scientists and also supervised by scientists. Agents may be transmitted by the airborne route. Low infectious dose can produce effects and can cause serious or life-threatening diseases. Primary and secondary barriers to minimize the release of infectious organism into the immediate laboratory and the environment. Transmission of BSL-3 organism is prevented by using appropriate respiratory protection equipment, HEPA filtration of exhausted laboratory air, and strictly controlled laboratory assays. Example of BSL-3 agents are Mycobacterium tuberculosis, Salmonella typhi, yellow fever virus, Francisella tularensis, Coxiella burnetii. Now this image shows the researchers working in the biosafety level 3. They are wearing all the necessary equipment such as aprons, face masks, gloves, etc. Next is biosafety level 4. Now here at the biosafety level 4, the researchers work with the highly infectious pathogenic microorganism. So here specific precautions should be taken in order to prevent oneself from getting infected by this agent. The maximum containment is available in suitable for facilities manipulating agents that are dangerous and exotic agents, risk of life-threatening diseases. Agents have the potential for aerosol transmission and they are also transmitted by air. Low infectious dose can produce very serious and often fatal diseases. No treatment or vaccine is available if you get these diseases. This level of containment represents an isolated unit. Isolation of the researcher from the pathogen by containment is a positive pressure unit. Isolation of the researcher from the pathogen by containment in a positive pressure suit. Decontamination of the air and other effluent produced in the facility has to be done. Multiple showers should be present at entry and exit points of the laboratory, supervised by qualified scientists who are trained and experienced in working with these agents. Examples of BSL-4 agents are Ebola virus, hemorrhagic fever virus. Now in this image you can see the researcher working at the biosafety level 4 wearing the necessary equipment. Next is biohazard. The biohazard are also called as biological hazard. The biohazard refers to any biological substance that pose a threat to the health of living organism, mainly that of the human beings. So the human beings has to take necessary precaution in order to prevent itself from the various biohazards which they will come across when working in a laboratory. Now this refers to the biological matter produced by these organisms that are harmful to the human health. This include parasite, viruses, bacteria and fungi. Now the term biohazard and its associated symbol are used as a warning signs outside of the laboratory and also on various substances. The biohazard symbol was developed in 1966 by Carl Badwin, an environmental health engineer working for the Dow Chemical Company. This image shows the symbol of biohazard as a sign of danger on various laboratories and where biohazards threats are and where researchers are exposed to the biohazard threat. Next is biohazardous waste. A biohazardous waste is any solid or the liquid biological waste that is hazardous because of its physical and or biological nature and is differentiated from that which contains hazardous chemicals or radioactive materials. All waste that contains infectious materials or which because of the biological nature may be harmful to human, animals, plants or the environment is called as a biohazardous waste. Now biohazardous waste includes waste from infectious animal, bulk human blood and blood products, infectious microbiological waste, pathological waste and sharp. Hazardous products from recombinant DNA technology and genetic manipulations. So in this module we have learned about the biosafety, the various biosafety levels and the biohazard and about the biohazardous waste. These are my references. Thank you.